All right, everyone, you are welcome back to our discussion on some embellishments you can use to write for four parts harmony. And in this lesson, we're going to talk about the use of neighboring tone or the use of the neighboring notes, right? The question is, what is neighboring tone? A neighbor tone is a non-harmonic tone that decorates a chord by briefly stepping away and coming back to it. All right, we can have upper neighboring tone or the lower neighboring tone as the case may be. So from this example, we have the lower neighboring tone, right? So it moves a step away from the actual note, right? And quitted also by step, right? So it moves away from the chord by step and quitted by step, right? So it's similar to the accented and the unaccented passing notes, but in this case, instead of the three notes to move in similar motion, either up or down, it moves in a wavy form, but the notes are still moving in steps. So this is called the lower neighboring tone. And it could also be written like this. It could also be the upper neighboring tone. Again, the note moves away a step and quitted by step, right? In other words, this note itself is a dissonance to this chord, and the other ones too is also a dissonance to this chord, right? All right, let's see how they sound. So it sounds this way, right? So it means this note is a dissonant to chord 1 on G major, right? It's a dissonant, right? Okay, so and also let's do the second one. So again, the A is dissonant or is a non-harmonic tone to the tonic chord on G major, right? So you can have your neighbor tone this way. Okay, let's see more examples. So in this case, we can have a double neighbor tone, right? So they are both flowing to the same direction. We'll say chord 1 and the neighbor tone appears in the two upper parts. Again, these notes are member of the chord to which they are written, right? So you see upper neighboring tones here because they are both flowing upwards, right? And quoted downwards. Okay, so let's see how they sound. Right, and these are neighboring tones here, right? So in this case, we have the lower neighboring tones appearing in soprano and tenor. So now let's see how they sound. We can have neighboring tones in this arrangement, right? The question is, do we really have a consecutive here? Yes, of course, we have a consecutive fifth here, but is it a fourth? No, because we are still progressing from the same chord, right? But it becomes a fourth if we are progressing into another chord. So this same chord has been retained or has been repeated here, right? But we only use the passing notes. So it means this consecutive octave between alto and bass, as well as the consecutive fifth between tenor and bass, are still permissible, right? As far as this chord or this arrangement is concerned. And here also, the notes moves in four, right? So this is also very practicable. And here the notes move in sixth. So it's still very much practicable. Okay, all right, everyone. As a little recap, a neighboring tone moves away from the actual chord in step, right? And moves back in a neighbor tone. The notes actually move briefly by step from the note to which it is written, either downwards or upwards, and resolves back into that note, right? So it could be upper neighbor tone or the lower neighbor tone. All right, everyone. I'll see you in the next one.